Hey there, Canva creators, Dr. Craig Ingstrom here, but you can just call me Craig because I'm an easygoing kind of guy. On this channel, I like to show people how to craft better communication, how to be more persuasive in their public speaking, and how to design beautiful presentation slides. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a cinematic introduction like you just saw, so that if you're telling a story, you can kind of have that effect of, hey, visually, I'm showing you that I'm going to be telling more of a narrative than I might otherwise. Now, this could be so for a live presentation, or it could be to download and import into a video editing software to tell an online story. Either way, you're going to follow the same steps, and Canva makes it super easy to create this kind of introduction. It really involves just 5 steps: insert a video, add some bars, add a title, add animations, and add music. What you want is to have this effect where you are moving from a sort of standard 16:9 shot and then coming in visually to show your audience that, hey, this is more of a story, just like cinema, with a 2.39:1 ratio. And that's sort of what we have here with the box look here. So what you want is that transition, in other words, to kind of say visually, hey, something is different here now with the slides, and then maybe keep it in that 2.39 ratio. Of course, you are cropping out details, so you need to be careful of that if you are, say, recording a video of yourself speaking or somebody you're interviewing and importing in later, that you sort of frame the shot enough so that you're going to have enough to crop in when needed. Okay, so what you're going to do, it's pretty simple, is we want to insert a video. So what you're going to do is create a presentation 16:9, or as you can see, 1920 by 1080, or you can use the video. And Canva now has a video editor that they are rolling out. It is in beta, and I will be doing some videos on how to use that tool, what I think of it. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future video uploads. In any case, just click on presentation, and of course you can retitle it to something along the lines of cinema intro if you want, and you're ready to go. So first things first is we want to go ahead and drop in a video. Now, again, you can use any type of video that works for you. If you're telling a story about nature, a journey, or something, then you can just use the video that I used at the beginning here. And if you're telling a story where you want to have somebody speaking, you could also do that. The main thing here, though, is that you want that effect where you go from the sort of 16:9 look to the 2.39:1 look, as you can see with that cropped in, with the bars on the top and the bottom. What I like to do is set the timing first. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crop in this video, and let's go to, like, 3 seconds in, and then let's go ahead and do a 10-second video shot with this. And I like to have it already cropped or sort of reduced in the time frame, so that way when I duplicate it, it's going to be the same playback speed. Now what I can do is just say, okay, this is going to be at 5 seconds. Come back to this one and bring this one back to 5 seconds. And so now what I've done is I've created a seamless transition, so the video will all appear as one shot across the 2 slides and not like jump cut or something like that. Now, I think 5 seconds is entirely too long. I had it at 3 seconds for the intro, and then I actually had to reduce it down even further for the YouTube intro, because I felt it was too long. But so you'll have to maybe play around with the timing, get that right before you move along to other elements. The next thing you want to do then is to go ahead and add the bars. Okay, so now to add the bars, one thing you could do is just kind of visualize it. So let's say, this is probably the fastest way to do it. It doesn't need to be perfect. And I can just hit Control D or Command D to duplicate that. And you could do something along that line. Now, if you want to be precise to the cinematic look, you're looking at a 2.39:1. So I'm going to just put a shape on there. And what I want is the height to be 239, or sorry, the width to be 239, roughly, by 100. So I'm going to pull that up and go to 100 here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to get as close as possible. And then I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to drag it so it holds the dimension or the aspect ratio as I pull it across. And I want to snap it into place on one side and bring it down and snap it into another side. So now you can see here, once I center it, we are good to go. So this would actually be the 2.39:1. Now what I want to do is I just want to put on those black bars. So I'm going to go ahead and fill those gaps in here. Let's go ahead and make this black. I'm going to hit Command D or Control D. I'm going to duplicate it. You can also hit Control X, Control Y, or sorry, Control C, Control V. And there you go. Now, the thing that I had here, if we go back to that introduction, is I had sort of a different look here. So what I did to create that effect of maybe just a color change as well for a visual effect is just choose a color that'll work, yellow, orange, something along the lines. I think I might have used gold. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the transparency so that you get a little bit of a different look. I'm going to hold down, I'm going to click on this bar, I'm going to hold down the control key the shift key, and I'm going to sort of group those together so now they are snapped into place. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is to add some titles. So as you can see here, I used Livic Bold on the top and I used Livic on the bottom. Okay, we're going to drop in a heading and I'm going to go up here. I think I typed in something like film, movie. It didn't bring up any, so then I went to like title, I believe, and it brought up some options. And I just sort of dialed down until I found one I liked. And I really liked this Livic Bold. So I'm going to click on that, change it. Now I'm going to pump up the size here, let's say to something like that. And then you can just title it whatever you want. Let's just title it intro. And then if you want, you can leave it at that, or you can add a subtitle if you would want. And then I just saw that under Livic, there was also the other options for Livic. So sometimes I just type in to bring up other choices within that same typeface. And in this case there was, so I changed, the subtitle. So I just added a subtitle and I changed it to Livic, and change the size to, let's say, 40. See what that looks like. Anyway, to give it a better look, I just selected both of those and I'm going to change the color to white. Of course, you can change it to whatever you want. You might want to resize just to get it the look that you want. All right, so there you have it. Nice and beautiful here. Let's get that centered. Let's group them together. All right, the next thing that you might want to do is create some animation for this. So I would go to animate. I would not animate, or you can do maybe like a fade in for the entire thing. And then for the typeface, you can kind of play around. But I think for this one, I used a breathe option so that it pulls in. And you want to make sure you have both of them selected. All right, so perfect. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to maybe add another sort of video element. So move on to the next one. So what you can do is just copy or duplicate that slide. You can clean out all the options if you want. Delete that out, put that back on. So what I did there is I just did Control X, delete, and then Control V to place that back on. And then I might want to delete the video. So I'm going to hit down the Control key. I'm going to dial down to the video and delete that. So when you hit Control and then you tap your mouse key, it'll actually move from a top layer to a lower layer. So I have a video on that. I'll put a link to it in the description or somewhere on the screen for you. And then you can add another element. So let's add another video. In this case, I chose this one. And then just go ahead and drag it to the side here. And then I can snap it to the back. Perfect. Okay, so once this is all ready, of course, you can trim this video, play with animation and so forth. You go to download as an MP4 video, download it, and it should work. I would import it into something like a PowerPoint slide if I wanted to, or I could even just use presentation mode here. All right, so moving back over here, we have gone through the elements of inserting a video, adding bars, adding a title, adding animations, and finally, you might want to add some music. In this case, you'll go to Elements, you'll dial down to Audio, and you can sort of see all the audio options. I think I typed in Cinema or something like that. I just kind of dialed down until I found something that I liked. In the case of the intro video, it was called Desert Drive. So super easy to do. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please share. If you have other ideas about how to create similar effects, leave those comments so others might find them. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful day.